Well, thank you very much, Motorola. The Motorola Foundation has been a tremendous partner for us in in-kind donations and in financial donations. And so, and we've had the honor of privilege, too, of recently meeting President Obama 2 Fridays ago. We met him in the Oval Office, and he wanted to talk to us about our model of veteran reintegration and also how what we're doing in the disaster response space. So I'll give you guys a similar brief that I gave him. It was in Haiti that we discovered that the skills and experiences of military veterans, the things that we learned over the last 10 years in Iraq and Afghanistan, I'm a former Marine myself, could be leveraged to improve disaster response. This is my partner, Jake, who I co-founded the organization with. He's a Marine Scout sniper, and we were operating in the hardest hit areas of Port-au-Prince. But it was upon return from Haiti that, after thinking about our experience, we identified 2 problems, and that's inadequate veteran reintegration and inadequate disaster response. Inadequate veteran reintegration because today 22 veterans are going to commit suicide. 37% self-report PTSD. Tremendous issues from survivor's guilt, depression, PTSD that are affecting our veterans. Inadequate disaster response. It was our experience that it took the big aid organizations 10 to 14 days to get their huge logistical machine up and running. But we looked at these and we said, you know what, those aren't just problems, they're also solutions, and we can use each to solve the other. We can use the skills and experiences of military veterans, decisive leadership and teamwork, risk mitigation, emergency medicine, to improve disaster response, and we can use disaster response to give veterans that new mission, an opportunity to continue to serve. In March of 2011, though, our organization was rocked. This is Clay Hunt. Clay was the sniper partner of Jake in Iraq and Afghanistan. He's a former Marine. Clay returned home and had a lot of the same reintegration issues that you see other veterans have. On March 30th of 2011, Clay took his own life. He's one of those statistics, 22 veterans a day committing suicide. So we took a harder look at the organization and what it means, what continued service means to the veteran. And we came up with 3 things: purpose, community, and sense of self. These are 3 things that veterans lose when they take off the uniform. And so because of our experience with Clay, and because we took a harder look at what continued service means to the veteran, we decided to shift the focus from the disaster victim to the veteran. So while we were a disaster response organization that uses veteran service, we became a veteran service organization that uses disaster response. And so naturally, we launched domestic operations, first in Tuscaloosa and then here in Joplin when the tornado hit. Now, the second inflection point was Hurricane Sandy. During Hurricane Sandy, we used Motorola turbo radios to communicate with our teams in the field when the terrestrial cellular network was knocked out. The types of missions, the types of work that we did during Hurricane Sandy was very similar to the other domestic missions and international missions that we've conducted. Search and rescue, route clearance, debris removal, home mucking. These things are no different than what we've done across the United States. But what was different was that every day at our forward operating base in the Rockaways, hundreds during the week and thousands during the weekend of civilians showed up and wanted to get involved. And so prior to, we had been deploying these very small 8 to 10 man teams and bridging that gap with as many of those teams as we possibly could. But when all these civilians showed up, we took a look at that 8 to 10 man team of military veterans and said, you know what, there are 8 to 10 potential leaders there. And so we broke down those teams and we took 1 to 2 military veterans and attached 20 to 40 civilians. We gave them the personal protective equipment, the safety brief. We outfitted them with the tools because of our partnership with Home Depot. And we sent them out into the field. And moving forward, we're going to be using that same model of pairing veterans with civilians, which is going to help veterans reintegrate back into society. Now, another thing that we did was we used Palantir. Many of you probably heard about Palantir. It's a program, software program used in the intelligence community. I come from an intelligence community background. That's what I did in intelligence in the Marines. And Palantir is a program that we use to discover latent connections between terrorists and IED explosions. And Palantir came to us and said, you know what, we can use our system to improve your response. So this is a map of Palantir, and we use them to manage our workflow. So we'd enter all the work orders, and we'd look for clusters of activity, and we assign those teams based on clusters of activity. It revolutionized our response. President Clinton, who joined us for half a day while out in the Rockaways, has since taken up the, he's become a believer in Palantir, and he's trying to make this a standard across disaster response. Now, very fortunate to be here, and you can see that our logo right here is the traditional symbol of the cross turned on its side. And I want to give you the reason why this is our logo and why we call ourselves Team Rubicon. So the logo is the traditional symbol of the medic turned on its side because the current model of disaster response needs improvement. And it's cracked open to represent the river Rubicon. We call ourselves Team Rubicon because on our very first mission, we crossed over from the Dominican Republic into Haiti a couple days after the earthquake, and our point of no return was a little river separating those two countries. At that point, we were going to Port-au-Prince, we were going to deliver these doctors and supplies, and we weren't turning back. It was our point of no return. Team because of the military ethos, the small units in the Marine Corps and the Special Operations community that we worked in. And that's why we call ourselves Team Rubicon. So I invite you to come down to see our booth. We have for everyone in the audience a lapel pin of this logo. So please come on by, and thank you very much for having us.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate it very much.